Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to my global audience. Walter Cotton coming at you with a special installment of My Patriot Report. And I'm calling this a special installment because it's a quick hitter quitter that I want to use to kind of demystify the questions that are swirling around whether or not government contracting is a viable path towards wealth generation. When I listen to the white noise or the chatter that's coming from the World Wide Web, I still hear a large percentage of the population that wears my social uniform, that believes that entertainment or athletics are still viable paths to wealth generation for people who wear my social uniform. Well, let me introduce you to a young man who's sitting at the top of wealth generation in this country today. His name is David Stewart, and he happens to be the founder or co-founder and chairman of a company called Worldwide Technologies. And if you Google Mr. Stewart, what you're going to find is that his personal net worth is north of $3.7 billion. That $3.7 billion worth of net worth makes Mr. Stewart richer than a lot of the household names that you would believe are at the top of the wealth generation list, like Michael Jordan. That's right. Mr. Stewart's net worth is greater than the Jordan brand combined. Oprah Winfrey, Mr. Stewart, again, outpaces the net worth of that entertainment empire. My point, very simply, and the reason I'm bringing this to your attention, is the fact that David Stewart and Worldwide Technologies were built on the foundation of government contracting. A little known secret is the fact that back in the day, Worldwide Technology was an 8A firm. It is a graduated 8A firm. And if you read Mr. Stewart's biography, you will clearly see him deliver appreciation and reverence to the SBA for getting him pointed in the right direction. And from that perch, he has built a juggernaut that has made him the second richest man in North America. Now, obviously, everybody is not going to be able to create that kind of moonshot. But what they are going to be able to do is what many who followed in his footsteps have done, which is create real generational wealth for their families. And I'm going to point your attention to an area, an opportunity that exists right now that has resulted from a promise that the president made at the 100th memorial, the 100th centennial of the Black Wall Street massacre, where he promised to increase federal spending for Black and brown people and small and disadvantaged businesses. There is a hard problem associated with that. I've talked to you all about that. The court cases are on the screen. But in addition to that, there has been a yeoman's effort put out by a small cadre of individuals that I've been connected with. And what these people have done is they've gone ahead and moved the playing field in federal contracting from its equality position to its equity position, empowering those people who own underutilized preference with the ability to make a demand call against the federal contracting budget. What does that mean in plain English? Well, if you look at the people that are pictured with me in the lower right-hand corner, which is a picture that I often like to share with you, those people were able to utilize these changes, this tinkering that we've done with the acquisition system in such a fashion that it empowered them to create the kind of generational wealth trend that you see on the screen right now. And these are actual results that you can pull out of USA spending on each one of these companies, which happen to be minority-owned companies. Each of these organizations are service-disabled veteran minority-owned companies, and they each enjoy the kind of wealth production, dare I say, that everyone within the sound of my voice would like to participate in and enjoy. I'm bringing that to your attention because I'm working with a small group of patriots who are currently putting in place systems strategies and procedures to work with some of our bellwether institutions like our historically black colleges and universities to provide for those of you who are interested a pathway that will allow you to acquire the understanding and know-how that you can use to take advantage of some of these rich opportunities that exist in the market space. And I've told you, and I'll quantify this for you in a future podcast as well, the fact that the federal government currently has about 1.2 trillion, and I'm saying that with a full and deep-throated voice, $1.2 trillion worth of wealth that's available for transfer. And it's my understanding that people who wear my social uniform, based on the settled law, have the ability to more robustly participate in those opportunities. But be that as it may, because I tend to get really, really excited about this area, there are still, as I said, some hard problems. There's some challenges that we have to overcome, and we have to rightly divide the information that's being sent to us in this season, because if we don't, we'll find ourselves off track. As an example, I'm hearing a lot of chatter that suggests that the 8A program is a viable pathway for small and disadvantaged businesses to consider in this season. I'm not 100% in agreement with that particular area. And what I'm bringing up here now is a hearing that Congressman Nfume had that spoke specifically to the challenges with the 8A program and how they may or may not impact this 15% promise that the president made at the 100th anniversary of the Black Wall Street riot. During the next broadcast, I'm going to unpack that in agonizing detail and show you why I think that there is a pathway that is more available for him and her that wear my social uniform today to take advantage of the wealth transfer that exists. And from my point of view or perspective, put you on a pathway to kind of producing the outcome that David Stewart's enjoying, or at a minimum, the kind of wealth building capability that people like Michelle Anthony and Charles Brown and many, many others. I mean, I don't want to name drop here. I dropped those names because you guys can go and search their performance out on USA.spending just to validate the viability of the opportunity that's before you. At the end of the day, what I want to do is transfer the information, the understanding necessary for you to start building or producing the building blocks necessary to create a foundation of wealth generation for your family. And I'm going to use this environment, as I promised you, to accomplish that goal. Before I go away, though, I want to bring back my good friend Dan Gill's effort that he is defining as working for HBCUs. And again, Mr. Gill is one of the preeminent experts in the area of acquisition in our nation. He's one of our patriarchs in the acquisition arena. And I will give you Dan's bio in one of our future podcasts. But suffice to say that Mr. Gill has an effort underway where he's going to come out of retirement with one simple interest, one simple focus, and that is to help our HBCUs build a foundation in the federal contracting arena that will help shore up their financial positions, that will help stabilize them. And if you go to the Thurgood Marshall Fund and search HBCUs and contracting, what you're going to find is an abysmal performance. You're going to find that our majority institutions are securing about 43% of their annual appropriations from the federal contracting space, while our HBCUs are still performing at 1%. That is one of the areas, one of the trends that Mr. Gill is looking to affect, and he's pulling together a best-in-class cohort of retired contracting executives who are also throwing their hat into the ring. My request from you is to surf out to Mr. Gill's GoFundMe site. Read the information that he is placed out there that explains this very worthy, this laudable challenge or this laudable effort that he's putting in, and support the brother. If you support this brother, you're going to bring the winds of change necessary to, I think, help your community, because many of these African American, many of these historically black colleges and universities are within the footprints of the communities that you and I reside in. Well, folks, as I said, I wanted this to be a quick hitter quitter. I'm going to go ahead and bring this one to a close and ask you to join me next time when I'm going to unpack the 8A program and its viability to help Black and brown people achieve their desire to produce generational wealth in this season. I look forward to seeing you during that session. Until then, this is Walter Cotton saying, I'm out.
My God over yours. My God over yours. My God over yours. Your understanding less than mine, I'm much more. You doubt, I'm most sure. Fragile and weak, define your core, giving a war. My God over yours. My God over yours. My God over yours. Your understanding less than mine, I'm much more. You doubt, I'm most sure. Fragile and weak, define your core, giving a war. My God over yours. My God over yours. My God over yours. Your understanding less than mine, I'm much more. You doubt, I'm most sure. Fragile and weak, define your core, giving a war.